Hey there everyone, my name is Jakejames Lugo, and welcome to the channel, where you'll find some of the most fair and honest game reviews out here.
Hello there.
And we're going back to a galaxy far, far away with Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast for the Nintendo Switch, but it's on other platforms as well. So basically, grab your lightsabers, because we're rolling Jedi today, boys. Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast is the second game of the Jedi Knight trilogy for PC and consoles. It also happens to be a continuation of the plot that began in Star Wars Dark Forces, following the character of Kyle Katarn. The story takes place about 8 years after the events of Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. The Rebellion has been working towards building up the New Republic, while combating the remnants of the Empire scattered across the galaxy. Kyle is a mercenary working for the New Republic, who also happens to be a former Jedi. He cut off his connection to the Force after nearly falling to the dark side, only to then leave the New Jedi Order and become a mercenary. While taking on missions for the New Republic, an emerging group of Imperial remnants appears, led by a Dark Jedi named Desan. Desan searches for the Valley of the Jedi to absorb the power it holds and use it to strengthen his army through the Force. He wants to attack the Jedi Academy on Yavin 4 and absorb the power within the Force Nexus, conquering the galaxy afterwards. Kyle teams up with an ensemble of characters, including classics like Mon Mothma, Lando Calrissian, and Luke Skywalker, to confront Desan and repel the Empire once again. The story is considered Legends material now, so it's not part of the official Star Wars canon, but that doesn't mean it's not worth seeing how interesting the galaxy was in a post-Return of the Jedi timeline from back in the day. So a couple things about this story. First, I actually like the character of Kyle Katarn. The whole concept behind him where he cuts himself off from the Force, from having a fear of the dark side, and just being a mercenary and doing things around the galaxy, I think that works out very well. The whole concept behind cutting yourself off from the Force, we see that in the movies with The Last Jedi much later on, but here I feel like it's handled so much better, and it makes a whole lot more sense, especially for a character like Kyle, between his personality and what he has going on within this time frame of the galaxy. It just makes a whole lot more sense. On top of that, because this is post-Return of the Jedi, we do get to see other characters from the original trilogy, including Luke Skywalker, Lando Calrissian, C-3PO, R2-D2. That makes sense. However, there are some pretty big omissions which don't really bother me too much. We don't get to see Princess Leia, we don't get to see Han Solo, and they're probably doing other stuff within the galaxy, and we actually do get to see them in other games later on. But at least for the characters we have here, this whole story makes sense. At least we're getting to see what happens after the Empire falls and what's going on with the New Republic. So all of that aside, let's get into gameplay, because a lot of people have some very fond memories of this game, but in actuality, was it really that good? Jedi Outcast is both a first-person and third-person shooter, which works out well depending on what you're doing. However, the game stumbles very hard in a few ways that make the whole experience difficult to play through.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
I got a bad feeling about this.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Oh, I have a bad feeling about this.
The action is fast-paced, but aiming and moving around during shootouts could be a big problem. The controls are very annoying if you're not playing on a PC with a mouse and keyboard. Controls on the gamepad are stiff and can mess up your aim when you're trying to be very precise. Enemies you run into move incredibly fast and erratic, making it very difficult to get a good hit on them. At the same time, their aim is incredibly good, so you'll have to keep moving around if you don't want to get shot. But while groups of enemies are a problem, the real enemy is the checkpoint and save system. It could be a huge nightmare to replay the entire mission over again because you didn't save frequently. The checkpoints are atrocious, forcing you to manually save in order to keep your progress and not replay long sections. I can't even begin to tell you how many times I would get killed randomly and need to redo a huge part of the level because I didn't save in a good spot. This is why autosaving in games is a godsend these days. A big part of the game is your Jedi abilities. Wielding a lightsaber and using the Force in combat can be pretty fun, despite the aiming being tedious. I feel that the game gets so much better once you have a lightsaber in hand. You won't have to shoot at enemies in most situations where you could just use your lightsaber. It's great for taking down large groups, but occasionally you'll need to use a blaster or another weapon on targets that are far away. Speaking of which, you get a variety of weapons throughout the game, but things get very interesting once you have your force powers unlocked. You can push and pull enemies in combat, as well as use other force powers too. Force Heal and the Jedi Mind Trick are pretty cool to use, as well as Force Speed, which can allow you to dash around groups of enemies. The force powers are also used for solving puzzles from time to time, but moments like these are very slow and can really bring down the game, especially when you have to figure out exactly what to do and where to go. Overall, there's some pretty annoying things present, but there's also some fun nuggets in here as well.
I don't believe that. And you're sounding like a separatist.
Besides the things that I mentioned before, there are some bugs and glitches that really got on my nerves when I played this game. There were certain things in there that either bugged out my character or made certain sections completely unplayable, where I had to reload a save or go back to a previous checkpoint. It didn't happen often, but it did happen, and when it does, it kind of ruins the fun a little bit. In addition, I do have to say that some of the boss fights that you encounter, including some of the lightsaber fights against certain Dark Jedi, as well as other characters and vehicles that you run into, those can be very hit or miss. Some of them are like pushovers, they're not that bad, especially when you have your force powers and your lightsaber, and then others just tend to be very tedious and just very annoying. They're not tough fights in of themselves, but certain mechanics and certain things involving like the hitboxes and how much damage they do, they could just make those a lot more difficult compared to others. And whether you like it or not will really be dependent on not only your controls, but also how much you manage like throughout most of the scenarios in the game. For me personally, I just found them to be very inconsistent. So was this game a 1 in a million shot? Can I recommend you pick up Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast for any platform? I would say yes, but go with the version that's most comfortable for you, both with the controls and understanding how annoying the saving can be. I really feel that the Switch port of this game is ruined a bit by the stiff controls, which may or may not feel different for some people. I played the PC version of this game and it feels smoother on there. As a story that's not tied to the current Star Wars canon, it's an interesting take on events after the movies, but not the best Star Wars story in my opinion. If you're a big fan of a galaxy far, far away, then you'll probably enjoy diving into this game, but if you decide to skip it, don't feel like you're missing out on anything crazy. It's not a waste of time, but not a must-play game for me either.
How can you do this? This is outrageous. It's unfair.
Take a seat, young Skywalker.
And there you go, everyone. Those are my thoughts about Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast. I have so many memories of this game with all the adverts, the magazine print ads, the commercials, and that review from Toonami about this game. So many people have praised it over the years. They've talked about it so much for various different reasons. So replaying it now and seeing it for what it is, I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like this game is just a tad bit overhyped for many different reasons. It's not that it's a bad game. I don't think it's a garbage game. Like, let's put it out there because there are far worse Star Wars games that I played even on this channel. But as far as being the best out there or considered within the top 10, I don't think so. I think that it has some good elements to it that people loved and probably are a little nostalgic about, but the rest of it, not that great. But of course, like any other game that I review on this channel, those are just my thoughts about Jedi Outcast. Let me know some of your thoughts about this game down below in the comment section. Tell me, are you a big Star Wars fan? Did you like Jedi Outcast? Did you grow up playing it? Did you love its sequel, Jedi Academy, which we'll probably get to one day? But what are some of the other Star Wars games that you feel like are the best of the best? The ones that you always love to go back to and play? Talk to me about that stuff down below in the comment section. Thanks for watching the video, everyone. I appreciate your support and I hope you enjoyed checking it out. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, and don't forget to leave me a like on this video and post a comment down below too. It helps out the channel a ton. You could also join my Discord server via the link in the description box to come be part of the community we have there. Whether you agree or disagree with me, come chat about games with everybody in there. It's a lot of fun people that I know you'll get a kick out of. Hope to see you again soon. Peace out, and stay epic, everybody.